How we doing, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Get Jiggy With It. I'm Will, and today we're going to open the game that you voted on for our Saturday stream, My Little Scythe. So, My Little Scythe is a very simple game. It's kind of fun. We already played it once. If you follow us on Instagram, you saw me post a picture. It is a game designed by Hobby Chow and her daughter, Vienna Chow, and illustrated by Katie Chow. And there we go. I probably butchered all those people's names and greatly apologize for that. It is part of Automa Factory, and then I think it is Stonemaier Games. I will check on the back, but I believe it is Stonemaier Games. 8 and plus, 45 minutes, 1 to 6 players, and that's about accurate. When me and Anthony played, it did take us about 45 minutes to play. As you can see here, these are the figures that you get, and we'll go through those in the box. You get 2 of each. Your components. Here is the board, and this is very deceptive. I was not aware of the size of this board, but of course we will show you guys in the setup, which is something we're going to add. I was just doing unboxes, but I got a suggestion that maybe we should do a setup to show you how everything lays out. And then it does have some game trays inside, which is really nice. And then yeah, down here at the bottom, it is Stonemaier Games is the publisher. So with that, we will go ahead and get inside of this. So I'm going to open this up and then probably put it behind me like we normally do, just because we don't always seem to have enough room. There is one expansion you can see over on my shoulder there, and that is something we'll open up in another day and give you guys the opportunity to vote on to see if you want us to play that as well. But here you go. This is nice. They give you a nice little thing to show you how to put everything back inside of the box in these game trays, and they do give you a example of both. What's funny is I started trying to put everything back in here and then found out on the back it had both of these. So for those of you wondering, those are in there. So this is the first game tray. So there we go, game trays with the figures. There is the game board. It is a multi-fold. If you can see that there, it is a multi-fold game board. So of course, too big for me to do here, but of course we'll see this during the setup phase. And then the rest of the components. Now, I guess this will be a good sign to say how well the components stay put in these game trays. I did notice we tilted it over and some things got out of place, but I put them back in. They give you this little achievement tracker, so achievement sheet, there we go. And you basically just track who wins what age groups, first time each player, and the year that they finished with all 4 trophies. And it is front and back, so kind of gives you some replayability because you basically can play as many times until you get all of these things accomplished. Of course, we have our one of our rule books. So this is what's called Auto Mounty. So this is the either one-player mode or the mode where you can play against basically the computer and AI. And it has a special set of decks. We did not play this mode, but we will play that for you guys on Saturday. And then this is the regular rule book, and it's not a very big rule book. There's not much to this game in terms of play and rules and structure. It's pretty straightforward. And of course, I always go over the rules on our first gameplay on Saturdays. The next thing is this little sheet here, and I thought this was really nice. This is actually a painting guide. So not a lot of games do this. Like even with Marvel United, we had to pull out some cards and look things up online to kind of get a gauge of how things should be painted. So this is really nice. I was always curious why everybody seemed to paint their figures the same. Gives you a little story about the different animal kingdoms. That is pretty cute there. And then the last thing is this bottom tray. Which I guess I've got enough room now, so I'll leave it here. So let's go through the bottom tray first. So the first thing you have are going to be these level up, power up, ability, cardboard markers, cardboard cards, I don't know what to call them. And they basically give you additional abilities beyond the base level moves. So there's move ones, and then there are your make ones. So there's a set there as well. They're all cardboard, very thick stock cardboard. So they do feel pretty durable. When I was punching them out, I was afraid that things were going to rip, but I don't think anything got damaged. But same thing, it changes your make ability. This is a new one. I didn't see that in a game. I saw this in a game, but it actually gave you another row to make things. You do get a couple die. So you have 2 apple die, and you have 2 gem die, and then you have a quest die. And each die has a different color. So the different color is where on the map you're going to put each of those items. So you normally, when you go and you want to do a seek action, you can either do, it's always 4 dice, so you can do a gem, 2 apples, or vice versa, you can do 2 gems and 1 apple. And they all fit in really nice in the game trays. The game trays are actually designed with the expansion in mind as well. So we actually have a couple empty spaces that eventually will be filled in with the expansion. These are your quest cards. So there's a bunch of different quests. Some of them are pretty easy, some of them are mean, some of them are nice. They're all pretty different, but you're going to be given 2 actions, either treat, trick, or no thanks. You want to complete 2 quests, you don't want to do no thanks that often, but treat, in this example, you pay 2 gems to add any 3 apples gems to any unoccupied space. Trick, a player of your choice gives you 2 other apples, but you do lose 1 friendship. And then there are the ones where the trick, you don't lose any friendship. And then no thanks is you gain 1 apple or gem just for basically visiting the quest square. The next are your abilities. So the abilities that everybody is given is random. You randomly hand out your abilities. And each ability basically makes your trophy a little bit easier to obtain. So for example, here, the friendship trophy, you can get the trophy at 7 instead of 8. Magical, you can do it with 2 magical cards instead of 3, but they must have at least 1 other trophy card earned. And it's basically for each trophy, there's going to be a card that each player gets to make that a little bit easier. This here is used for setup. It basically shows you how to set up the game based on the number of players. These are the auto Mounty cards. So they basically say how the auto Mounty would play, and then if you do a pie fight, how many pies they get. They have to use during the pie fight, or here they do pie fight plus a magic card. And then if they are on turn where they're seeking, this is where they would place the items on the map. Here we go. These are your camp tokens. So each one of the different kingdoms has a separate camp token. So there are 7 of those. You have your quest tokens. There we go. So these are all cardboard. I don't know if there was maybe, I don't remember if this was a Kickstarter. I forgot to look that up before the opening. So I don't know if maybe there were better premium upgrades, but I'd almost guarantee you can probably find some premium upgrades on Etsy or something. The apples, on the other hand, they are premium. They are a nice plastic. So it's kind of weird that the quest tokens aren't plastic. Maybe because you're not handling them as much. And then here are the gems. So those are the magical source of power, the gems. The last set of cards are the pie cards. So these are added whenever there is a pie fight. You basically just add this to your spin wheel, to your move, to your power, to your... I'm going to show you the wheel in a minute, but you add this to the number of pies that you want to use, and then that is how you attack. So the more pies you use, the better chance you have of winning. And there are different, it's kind of neat, they have different art. For the 4, and then like the 5, we've got some fire going around them. So those are pretty cool. And then the pie fight wheel, so the wheel of pie fight death, or whatever, is right here. So basically, based on the number of pies you have, you can choose, I'm going to spend 2 of my pies, and then whatever my magic card is, and then I can go ahead and attack, and then they show theirs, I show theirs, and whoever wins the pie fight, right? But however, if you are the attacker, you do lose some friendship. So it's not always best to do the pie fight, especially if you're working on that friendship track where you want to get your trophy for your friendship. So the next thing, so I'll move this out of the way for us, is the actual minis. And there's 2 things that draw me and Audrey to games. One is, of course, a cute or artistic look to a game. The second thing, of course, now lately has been miniatures, and that's because we are painting them. So this game, of course, did both of those things. We saw it at our local game shop, and so we figured, hey, we're going to have to pick this up. These are your player cards. So you, of course, start with 4 trophies, which will be on each one of these. And then you have 3 actions that you can do, only 1 per turn, but both of your characters can make a move action. You can either move either to 2 spaces or only 1 space if you have apples or some gems. You can seek, and that's where I was talking about those dice. And then if you are nice, you get some extra friendship for putting whatever you roll on top of your opponents. And then you have make, where you can get yourself additional pies, magic cards, or those power-ups that I showed you on those little cardboard things, cardboard cards. Yeah, sure. Each character has a set of items. So this is your, well, that's in the purple one. I got these mixed up. I played red, Oddly played purple, so I got those mixed up. But this is your friendship tracker. That is your pie tracker. And then there are your 4 trophies. So these are all cardboard. They seem pretty durable, but I mean, only time, of course, tells how durable things are. You have this little marker, your little action marker. So he is used on your game board to say that this is the action I've taken. The reason you have to track that is because you cannot make the same action again unless there's, well, you can make the same action, you can't make the same action within the action, so like a sub-action. And then the last thing are the actual figures. So the first group is the monkeys. So there are the little monkeys, and we're getting lots of brightness because these guys are a very light color. So I'll try to, I guess I'll have to shade them just a little bit. But here is the second one. So these are the dog warriors. And then we have the little bears. There is the little bears. And we have our boars. There's the boar guys. See that one? Some of these are actually showing up pretty good on the camera, and the other ones seem to be a little bit over brightened. So apologize for that. There we go. And these are the, I don't know if they're like eagles, hawks, condor. They're not condors, but yeah. So we got our bird peoples. We have our bison, which seems to be the builder, the tinkers. I got some little gears and wrenches, and got little goggles on there. That's pretty cute. And then the last one are the kind of Russian influenced, because they got a little star and all, and they are the tigers, and they are considered the best pie throwers. That's what their card said. And then we do have 2 spaces, so these are the spaces for the other 2 kingdoms that come in the expansion. And then the other thing you get is the blimp, which I guess fits in the bottom somehow, or maybe stick it in here. I have to figure out how to put that blimp in here, because that'd be another piece. But that is the contents of the box, guys. So I'll be right back with you, and I will show you how this game sets up on the table. Okay, guys, so here is the setup of the game. It takes up a lot of room. I think our table is a 36-inch round. We, of course, have put in, and we're going to get that Jasper table that we've talked about, so not sure how much better that's going to be, but here we go. So this is the board game layout. The board is very nice. Everything has like these little markings to know where your cards go. So here are your magic cards, your magic discard. Over on this side, you have your quest. So you just put your quest cards there. The quests don't have a discard because, of course, if you don't take the quest, it says put it on the bottom. If you do take the quest, then, of course, you keep that quest card. Down here on the bottom, you'll see here is my starting base, and then at the top is Oddly's starting base. That is a normal 2-player game. The other starting camps are around the board. So, of course, if you're playing in a larger group, you want to make sure everybody can kind of get to their bases. This here in the middle, I just sat it there. This is used as the setup for your game. So basically, you'll stick this upside down, you'll twist it around, you'll flip it over, and then however you're playing, that's what you put in front of your people. So in this example, we would put 2 apples there in front of Oddly and a diamond. And then on my side, I would get 2 diamonds or gems and 1, I'll put that in the wrong spot, and 1 apple, right? So that's just your setup. And then once it's set up, you can take it away because you have your Castle of Everfree. They really don't have spots where to put the apples, gems, and quest markers. This is just where I found to put them. At the top, of course, again, it is marked for your power-ups. And then on each of our sides, my side, of course, I started with my power-up, and 1 magical spell. And then I have my game board with my 4 trophies, because I haven't unlocked any trophies yet. And then my little character, my little meeple, my little marker, whatever you want to call it. And in a 2-player game, it's fine. Each of us are going to be able to get a pie chart spinner thing. But in a multiplayer, of course, you would just pass those around. Over here on the left is the friendship tracker. So there are a friendship. And then over here on the right, we have our pie tracker. And then the last thing really on the board is, of course, your trophy. So whenever you win a trophy, you just go ahead and stick your trophy up there in the top. And once you get 4 trophies, that is the win of the game. There we go, guys. That is My Little Scythe. I hope you guys like this type of video. Let me know if you like seeing both the unboxing and the board game setup. If you do, leave me a comment down below. If you want to watch this gameplay, make sure you hit that subscribe button and bell notification. That way you know when we go live. Until next time, guys. Peace.